God built you to ascend in life. You're built to keep achieving. Look at society, right? Like we went from like cavemen, whatever you believe, to like houses, to planes, to cars. All we do is ascend. That's all humans do. We keep ascending. Branding is what people say about you. Marketing is what you tell people about you.
That's good.
My brand is what everybody say about me. Oh, Dashaun, he cool as fuck, bro. He authentic, bro. He down to earth. That's my brand.
So nowadays, you went from roofing door-to-door sales rep to now training 100+ companies all throughout the nation since 2020. What's the number one trait you see in winning teams?
Oh, man, that's a good question.
Welcome to Built to Scale, the podcast where vision meets action. I'm your host, Quinn Schilz, founder of Master Roofing, and I'm here to pull back the curtain on building world-class teams, scaling companies, and turning bold ideas into unstoppable momentum. Let's get to work. Meet our guest today, Dashaun Bryant, the man behind Roof Hustlers. From accidental beginnings to nationwide impact, Dashaun Bryant is reshaping the roofing sales game. After stumbling into door-to-door roofing sales and discovering a gap in the industry training, he turned inspiration from Grant Cardone into a mission to equip reps with tools, mindset, and principles they need to win. As founder of Roof Hustlers, he's a certified mental performance coach. Dashaun brings unmatched energy, authenticity, and wisdom to every door and every stage. In this feature, he'll be sharing the story behind his business, his rise on social media, and the mindset that built his brand. Welcome, Dashaun.
Whoa, but that's a good intro. I like that.
How you doing today, Dashaun?
I'm phenomenal, bro. Blessed. God is good, man. It's a privilege to be here out here in Cali, rocking out with you, man. Excited to be on the podcast, man.
Awesome, bro. We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
So 650 roofs plus in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
What mindset does that take?
Believe it or not, man, 650 roofs in my first 3 years, I think it take a mindset of ignorance, right? I'm a firm believer that like ignorance is truly bliss, right? And I think sometimes the more you know, the less you do, right?
Yeah.
So my first 5 years into the roofing industry, so I've been doing this for 10 years. So my first 5 years, I didn't know about no community pages. I didn't know about Adam Benjamin. I didn't know about Lee Haight. Like, I ain't know about no names in the roofing industry. So since I had nobody to compare myself to, I just woke up every day and just went and grinded. Just grind. So the ignorance, I think, was one of the biggest mindsets that contributed to that. Because I think now with our industry where it's going now, right, I think everybody get online and they see everybody.
Yeah.
They see me, they see Adam, they see all of these guys killing the game. Mm-hmm. And now they start comparing themselves to all of these people, and it starts diluting their process and making them feel like they're not good enough or they should be further along than when they are. Versus me, my first 5 years, I didn't know nobody, so I just was in my own world just grinding. So I think the mindset that it took to get there was just pure ignorance. Just didn't know if I was doing good, didn't know if I was doing bad, just knew every day I had to wake up and just like go get it.
Okay, so what's a day in the life of a top 1% door knocker look like to you?
That's a good question, right? To me, in the day in the life of a top percent roofing door-to-door sales professional,
yeah,
right? I think a top 1%er, I think they're getting up anywhere between like 5 to 7 o'clock, right?
Okay.
I think they're getting up and they taking care of themselves first, like going through a morning routine, anything to get their mind right.
Yeah.
Maybe reading a book, going to the gym.
Reading a book.
Yeah, getting all of these things right. And probably like 7 o'clock, now they're starting to deal with the outside world, right?
Okay.
Maybe checking their calendar,
yeah,
seeing if what appointments on their schedule, what homeowners they need to go rock out with. I'm assuming they hitting the field probably like 8 o'clock, probably like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Well, 8 to 1, let's say 8 to 1.
Yeah.
They probably running appointments, showing up to homeowners' homes, closing deals, collecting checks, just doing all of these things.
Okay.
The top performers that I know, they've packed their lunch. They got a cooler.
They're coming prepared.
They got food already in the car.
No reason to leave.
No reason to leave the field. We not going to have lunch at Chipotle and shit like that. We staying where the money at, which is in the field, right? So they still out there, I think, from about 12 to 3.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I think it's a little bit more appointment running, maybe checking on builds, just doing some maintenance. And then about 4 o'clock hit.
Maintenance?
Maintenance would be like maybe you got an install going on, little issue. You done drove over there, check on the homeowner, make sure they're doing well, right?
Okay.
Or insurance process. If you do a lot of insurance claims, maybe following up with some insurance companies. Hey, just calling to see, what's going on with these claims, see how they progressing, right? And just things like that. That type of maintenance.
Gotcha.
I call them cleaning up, like cleanup days.
Makes sense.
And then from 4 to about sundown, you locked in, strapped up on the doors, generating new business. Because a 1% of sales rep, you're not going home at 5 or 6 o'clock. It's not real because it's too much money in the field from 5 and beyond, right? So if anybody, I meet a sales rep and they go home at like 5, 6 o'clock, I know they ain't no 1%er because the 1%ers I know ain't getting home till like 8 or 30, 9 o'clock, like till the sun go down.
What's a 1%er make in the roofing industry? You fly all around the whole country. You meet the top guys in all the 50 states, right? So
yeah,
how much you see some of these guys taking home?
I think the best of the best making anywhere between $500,000, $700,000 a year.
That's awesome. That's more than some owners making.
Yeah. No, I know a dude named Dan Walrek. I don't know if you ever heard of Dan Walrek. He's known as the $18 million man. Okay. He sold $18 million. Walrek. Yep. Dan Walrek sold $18 million by himself in Minnesota.
Like self-gen?
Self-gen. By himself. $18 million.
His own company, or he works for a big company or something?
Worked for a big company, but he did $18 million by himself. So what happened was,
shit, that's crazy.
He was the community guy. Coach baseball, coach football, did all of these things.
Yeah.
So was so plugged in and networked, prepped all of his students, everybody. When the storm hit, he was the go-to guy. Yeah. Long story short, I think he did about 1.6, 1.8 million selling roofs. And he liked the point like 1%, like small percentage of guys. But the best of the best, I think, doing it there between $500,000, $700,000 a year. But those guys committed.
So how many roofs do you think the average sales rep leaves on the table, every week?
Every week, the average sales rep, what they leaving on the table. Let's say if they good, right? Let's say if you got a good sales rep and he closing about 5 deals a week, right? Let's just say that as the benchmark. You're doing 5 deals a week. I think most people leave it anywhere between an additional 4 to 6 deals a week in the field.
Because there's good and then there's great and phenomenal, right? We talked about that this week. So
yeah, because most sales reps get satisfied, right? I call it alligator syndrome, right? You know the best time to kill an alligator?
Tell me.
After they eat something. So once they eat, they get lazy.
I hear
they get sleepy and they're like, oh, I'm full. I can relax now.
Yeah.
Versus like the best of the best, they kill something and they're like, ooh, I want to go kill something again. I want to go kill something again, right?
Yeah.
And they got this like hunger that never gets satisfied.
I love this, bro. You're dropping some real game for him right
now.
now.
Like they got a hunger that don't get satisfied, but good reps like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. I got one today.
Yeah.
I can go home. Right? Like me, I would get one and I'm like, oh man, I want to go get another one. Like I want to go get another one. Like the most deals I've did in a day was 8.
One day?
Yeah, 8 in one day.
And look, I have a company. Guys get it 2 deals in 1 week sometimes. They're like, they feel satisfied, like retail sales. So it's like you need to have that constant hunger, that constant hunger inside of you. You can't go away because the second that you get comfortable, you stop your glass ceiling, right? Like you can't break through.
Well,
still coming up.
God built you to ascend in life. You're built to keep achieving. Look at society, right? Like we went from like cavemen, whatever you believe, to like houses, to planes, to cars. All we do is ascend. That's all humans do. We keep ascending.
SoCal homeowners, why pay $15,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 for a new roof when instead you can get a new roof for only less than $100 per month? Here at Master Roofing, we serve homeowners with high quality roofs with no hefty upfront costs. So give your house the roof it deserves with 0 down and low monthly payments. Why wait? Click the link below to get you a roof you deserve for payments you can afford.
Well, I'm a firm believer that when it comes to things like that, it's like a mentality, right? Like most people got very weak mentalities.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to say they got a weak work ethic.
Yeah.
But they got a weak mentality, which like Kobe, his mentality was like 40 points ain't enough. I want to murder you. You know what I mean? I know some guys or reps that'll be like, oh, I got enough deals. Let's go get somebody else a deal. I don't ever want to get nobody else a deal. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Like when I'm in sale mode, like if you come on the doors with me, it's to watch me, not so I can put money in your pocket. If you want to eat, you need to go find your own neighborhood and go knock doors on your own. But if you're coming with me, you finna watch me eat. And if you don't want to watch me eat, I suggest you go across the street and knock your own doors, right? So I think it's the mentality of like, what is enough, right? And I know some people are like, well, you got to be satisfied. I like to say you got to be blissfully dissatisfied,
okay,
right? Which means blissful mean like you happy with where you at, but you know there's more to accomplish, right? So I'm blissfully dissatisfied, which means I love where I'm at. I'm grateful for where I came to, but it's another level to get to. And it took me a lot to get to this level. Cool, enjoy it briefly. Like Tim Grover used to say it best, right? In the book Relentless, he said, you win, celebrate it briefly, on to the next one. And I think some sales rep, they bask in their wins too long.
So when you look back at 650 roofs, what was the moment you almost what was the moment you almost broke down?
And when you say broke down, you mean like I almost walked away from it? Like I almost quit? It probably was about, I think like 8 months into the game. 8 months into the game. Only thing that didn't make me quit, I fell in love with the freedom. I couldn't go back to a regular job. Like once I got out of the Sam's Club, because I used to work at Sam's Club and sell roofs, and I did both for a little minute, maybe 3-4 months, and then I quit Sam's Club because they wanted me to stay later. And I'm like, no, I'm making more money selling roofs than working here. And they was like, they laughed at me. So I'm like, I put my 2 weeks in, I'm gone. And then I'm probably like 8 months into the game, and like, I only can get one deal a week. Like I couldn't get no more than one deal a week, bro. And it's like, what am I doing wrong? And it started getting frustrating because I went from making, $600 every 2 weeks at Sam's Club. Now I'm making maybe $400 to $600 a week. It's still more money, but it's not the money that I was expecting to make because I only used to get paid $200 per claim my first 4 years in the industry. So no 10%, no 50-50 profit split, no 5, 6, nothing percent, only $200 per claim I filed.
Well, they got you.
Yeah, I know. I ain't know no better. That's what I'm saying. The ignorance was so bliss, bro.
It was better than Sam's Club.
Way better than Sam's Club.
It was a step up.
Oh, bro, I was changing my life.
A new skill set so I think you probably, the way I know you now, you probably didn't even look at it as like the money. You were like, I'm learning this new skill. It's going to get me out and I'm going to be able to do more.
Well, if you ask me, I was winning.
Yeah.
I went from $600 every 2 weeks to making anywhere between $500 to $600 a week. I went from not having to work 8 hours a day to working 4 hours a day. My son was born. I got to spend every day with my son. So like, I was winning, if you ask me. It wasn't about making a bunch of money. It was like I'm experiencing a new lifestyle, which is freedom, right?
Totally.
Harriet Tubman said it best. She said, I would have freed more slaves only if people knew they weren't slaves. Like, I would have freed...
It's a mindset thing.
Yeah,
right?
I would have freed more slaves only if they knew they weren't slaves, right? So I always tell people, every time we bring a new person into the industry, we freeing a slave. Like, oh, man, we just got you out that corporate job, we freed a slave.
Gotcha.
Oh, we got you out of McDonald's, we freed a slave.
Yeah.
Right? Welcome to freedom. Because people don't know this is freedom.
Yeah.
But by 8 months in, man, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Because I'm like, I'm only getting one deal a week. And then I went out with one of the top sales reps. He was like, man, let's go out and give you a refresher. And I watched him do one or two things. And I'm like, that was it.
What were those one or two things?
I know this is going to sound funny, especially after this weekend of training, right?
Okay.
He stuck to the script. He stuck to the script, like he didn't deviate. And I watched him say that shit word for word. And I'm like, that's my gap.
Follow the process that works.
Follow the process that works. I went back to using the script word for word.
They were doing it. They figured out what they're doing. They follow the script. When I do this, it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else? You said two things. Follow the script.
Oh, no, that was it.
Okay.
That was it. There's the script. And my kids, the mom.
Went back and...
Yeah, I went back,
Sorry,
logged back in on the script. Once I started buying back into the script, the numbers started going up. Because we got into the industry different, right? So, like, we do inspections now, do all of these things down the industry. When we got into the industry 10 years ago, it was we knock on your door. We used to walk around with a hell map. Hey, your area was affected by this storm. Your house right here, correct? They're like, yeah, you need to call your insurance company right now. Let them know you got damage. The insurance company will pay for it. Matter of fact, we can walk you through the process. Do you got somewhere we can sit down? And homeowners used to be like, come on in. First day I meet you, right? So like one call closing people off a door knock. So you got to think about it. It's hard to do that 5 times a week. Like just an ignorant person. Then we flipped it inspections. Once we flipped to inspections, my numbers went through the roof.
So most people wouldn't survive 1 year, of your pace, what you were doing. What kept you from burning out?
Like I said, once again, I tasted that freedom. Also, I had the luxury of being a stay-at-home dad until my kids went to elementary school, right? So I stayed home with my kids every single day until they went to elementary school. So when you hanging with a baby all day, you know what you eager to do? Go talk to
you
people.
You always ask questions, and I always have the wrong answer.
Yeah,
so.
but you eager to go talk to people. You're like,
Yeah.
I've been hanging with a baby all day.
I get that.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to go talk to humans.
Yeah.
So as soon as my kids, the mom would get home from work, I'm jetting to the field. Versus these guys dread going to the field.
Because you want to go out and
I want to go
have normal life.
I want to go interact.
Get away from the kids.
Because I don't work a regular job no more.
Right.
So I'm home with my baby all day. And then I got to wait for baby mama to get home. And then I will go knock doors. So I was eager, like, oh, I can't wait for her to get home so I can go knock some doors, right? Like, go get in front of some people.
Because that was like your freedom. Yeah, got you.
Yeah, so I never really got burned out. Main reason, I knew why I was doing it, which was to make sure that my son didn't have to go to daycare. It was, like, so crazy.
What do you mean?
If I underperformed,
Okay.
I had to go back and get a regular job.
Yeah.
And I had to start paying for daycare. And then I couldn't be home with my son no more.
Okay.
So my whole motivation was to make sure I could make enough money so I never got to go get a regular job so my son don't got to go to daycare. So that's what I thought about every day that got me eager to, like, we going to make this shit work, like, regardless. Right? And I give my baby mama a ton of credit because she believed in me, like, never doubted me, never was like, what you doing? But she did tell me, you got a month. She's like, you got a month to make this work or you need to find a real job. And we made it work. And what she meant by a month to make it work, it was like, we got to make more money than we making at Sam's Club. So we either got to make the same amount or we got to make more. And you go to $600 a week, that's $2,400. I doubled the income. So it was worth it. But that was the main focus when I first got started. Make sure I make enough money so I don't got to send my son to daycare.
So nowadays you went from roofing door-to-door sales rep to now training 100+ companies all throughout the nation since 2020. What's the number one trait you see in winning teams?
Oh, man, that's a good question. The number one trait that I see in winning teams, I would probably say, damn, that's a good question. Number one trait that I see in winning teams, I would say constant growth.
Okay.
Constant growth. Like
the team, the company.
Like constant growth.
Define constant growth and what you think. What's your picture in your head? Like what you're seeing as that company.
When
right
I say
now?
constant growth, I mean it gets deeper than sales. They start to grow as humans. Like it's places for them to elevate within the company. They can go from a sales rep to a sales manager to a potential branch manager to a team leader. So they always
there's a career path in the company.
Career path.
So the person sees they can hop in at.
This ain't a dead end.
Yeah, they see their
trajectory.
Like you go in, like before, back in the day, you go in start in the mailroom and become the CEO one day, and you can see that how you can become successful in that company. So the winning teams in roofing are setting up a process where you go in at a where would be the entry level position, maybe
door to door, like just foundation,
and then
maybe canvassing,
and then you're showing them like a way to become like what next.
So you can go from like a canvasser to a closer, team leader to like a potential sales leader or sales manager.
Overseeing a group of sales guys.
Sales manager to like a GM to a potential like quote unquote partner, some companies like that. Franchise owner, things like that. I think that's one of the biggest things I see with like very successful companies, like that opportunity for growth, because humans need ascension.
Okay. Humans
need to know I can grow because God built you to ascend in life. Mm-hmm. That's why you never satisfied. Mm-hmm. Like, and once you get to a place of satisfaction,
it's like depressed.
Yeah, you're depressed. You're like, man, this is that, because you're built to keep achieving. Like, look at society, right? Like, we went from like cavemen, whatever you believe. I would never say monkeys, but let's say we went from cavemen, right? Cavemen to like houses, to planes, to cars, to AI now, Teslas. Like, all we do is ascend. That's all humans do. We keep ascending. We're the only creature on earth that can ascend. Animals don't ascend. Like an animal is built to be whatever it's built to be, and it stays there. Like a lion can eventually be like, we're vegetarian now. You know what I mean? Like lions can't do that shit. But humans are built to ascend. So we need an opportunity to ascend in life because that's how we continue to reach our potential, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So,
well, I was going to ask you, well, what separates the guys who hear your training from the ones who actually execute it?
Still coming up.
Branding is what people say about you. Marketing is what you tell people about you.
That's good.
My brand is what everybody say about me. Oh, Dashaun, he cool as fuck, bro. He authentic, bro. He down to earth. That's my brand. I think it's an ego thing.
Okay.
I think it's an ego thing.
Yeah.
Right? I think, because, first of all, training grown men is hard as shit. Because most grown men I meet think they know everything, right? Because they live to a certain age, or I've done this, I've done that. So they already stuck in their ways, right? So I got to come in and really do one or two things. I got to understand that I ain't going to get no breakthrough to you anyways and focus on the one or two guys that I can grow. Or I got to really just make you feel little, right? I got to really like crush your ego and make you realize like you're 38, I'm 34. You just made your first 6 figures. I've been doing this shit for 6 years, right? The last 6 years. And not to mention reality check, right? Because you need to know that you're not that good. Like I was talking to Helen, one of your reps, right? I was like, the problem with most humans, they grade their own paper. Like they grade their own paper, right? Like you take a test and then you look at your own answers, you be like, oh, that's right. Oh, that shit look good. Oh, that was a great answer, right? But you let somebody else read your test, they're like, oh, that grammar is wrong. That punctuation's out of place. Your paper come back all red. You're like, what the hell? Man, that paper was fire, but you sent it to an English teacher. And it's like, no, your grammar was all wrong. Now somebody else grading your paper. Now you got humility, right? So I gotta grade their papers, let them know that you're not that good. But that guy who ego's too big, he ain't gonna hear me regardless. The guys who are humble, they take a step back and they start looking at their own picture and they're like, whoa, this dude 34 years old. We've been doing the same job, quote unquote. But he here, I'm here. And then they start to have that humility check where they say, well, how do I get on his level? And then they like teach me. It's like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? So I had to check a dude a few weeks ago. He was arrogant, right? Then we knocked doors together. He was like, oh shit, I can't do that.
How did you get that? Did you like push him to do it and they like corrected it?
No, he just saw me.
Okay.
He saw me work a few doors and he was like, I would have walked away from that guy. I wouldn't have landed that guy. He's like, I ain't as good as I think I was. How much it costs for you to train me by myself? And he was with the company. He's like, how much it costs for you to train me one-on-one? And now this dude been chasing me for like 3 weeks.
So you just did training here with our company, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that kind of surprised me is your main thing wasn't just out in the field. I thought you were going to come here and knock with my guys all day long. You came here and you did a lot of mindset stuff, right? And that's the thing. I don't know if you put that out there, but it's like that's what happened, right?
Yep.
And so why do you do that? Like, why do you go ahead and focus so much on the mindset and then the door knock is just part of it? Like, what's the reason?
Because once we change the way you think, we can change the way you move, right? But if I just try to change the way you move and I don't change the way you think, you're just going to naturally revert back to who you are as a human.
Okay.
Right? So the ultimate goal is to change the way that you think. So day one, we got to open the mind up. That's why we do nothing but mindset training, Because now you're starting to second guess yourself. Because now I've put a chink in the armor, right? Mm-hmm. Now from this day moving forward, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
You like, give it to me, right? So we got to get the mind right so we can get the grind right. The problem with most people, they focus so much on the grind and not the mind, and they break down.
Gotcha.
So I learned that probably like my second year in the game, third year in the game. I was like, oh shit, this is like mainly mental. Because these guys could knock a door, they could work a neighborhood, they could talk to humans, but what's the problem? They don't think it's no damage in the neighborhood. They don't think they speech good enough. They don't think nobody gonna buy. I focus on the chatter that's stopping them from going to that next level, and then we go show them how to do it.
So how do you change someone's identity in a 3-day training?
It's a really good question, right? So 1 day gets you motivated. 2 days gets you inspired. 3 days create transformation. The problem with most people, they go to events for 1 day, you get motivated. People ask me why you do 4 weekend trainings, because they're like, you spend too much time with sales teams. That's what most people say. You spend too much time with a company. You gone too long. I said, no. We got to immerse them.
Yeah.
Once I immerse you, I can change your identity, right? But if I'm only with you for a day, you're just going to get hyped and you're going to go right back what you do. But when you with me for 3 days, the energy transforms you.
Gotcha.
Because when you're around this energy consistently,
yeah,
it starts to make you want to say you move different. Like I come out and train on Thursday, I tell everybody, how you doing? Amazing. And I tell everybody like the importance of bringing good energy into your life. Now by the 3rd day, you'll never catch nobody saying good no more. I'm phenomenal. I'm amazing. Now they changing their language. Once you change your language, you can change your world. But most people language creates the world that they living in now. And they just got a lousy language. So when they're around me for 3 days, we changing everything about you, the way you talk, the way you think, the way you move, everything.
And when you did your training, I sat through it the whole time. Like it's inspiring, like the way you come in with your energy and you have a whole process. You go through it. Like I see the change in our guys. Even we were talking about, Andrew waking up early the next day and wanting to take care of his kids and all that kind of stuff, right? So, when you do it, like I'm just curious for myself. Like, is it like when you go through training to become a coach and all of that? Is it like NLP involved? Like, how do you like get into people's heads and really get them to like believe this shit and like make that change? I just thought about that. No. You're saying this,
No, the most important thing is changing their language.
The way you speak to yourself.
Yeah, the way you speak to yourself. Yeah. In 3 days.
Is it NLP at all, or?
Nah, I know what that is.
I've heard of it before, and like, I've gone to these events.
It ain't even no deep. It ain't even no deep.
So you're not doing anything magic on them or anything like doing some special scientific way. You're just like bringing your heart into this and showing them what's possible, and they just.
And I'm getting them enrolled.
Energy transfers.
Yep. Sales is a transfer of energy. Everything in life is a transfer of energy, right? So once I change your language, everything else about you gonna change. Because like now you changing your own story. I tell everybody I don't change nobody's lives. They change their own lives. I think any human that take credit for changing people's lives is very arrogant. Because I don't think no human that good. I think you make a decision, like as your own person, to make changes in your life, but you see somebody else doing some shit and you're like, man, I want that. Once you expose people to something, they'll never be the same. So your level of success always tied to your level of exposure. Once people see the way that I talk, they see the principles that I use, the strategies that I use, they get enticed by that. Now they constantly chasing that, right? But the biggest thing we do is make them change their language. And we got to help them realize, like, go home and look in the mirror and just realize that you're not happy with the person that you're looking at. You just ain't had nobody else with enough courage to tell you that you're not that good. Like, you're not that good. Like, this version of you not going to get you where you want to be in life. Because I tell people all the time, people say they want to be successful for one reason and one reason only. Because they could say it. That's it. You don't got to do nothing after that.
So you just trained my squad. What made this team different?
In a good way? Like, I'm saying, I just like what made them different as a whole, or So the thing that makes them different than most companies that I work with is y'all not a canvassing company.
Yeah,
y'all an appointment based company. So it's really difficult to work with non-canvassing based companies because most people view canvassing as like bottom of the barrel work, grunt work. Man, I gotta go knock doors, right?
Especially when you're used to getting leads spoon fed to you all the time, right?
Right. So we got to shift the perspective. So the first thing we got to do is go out in the field and show them that it's true. We got to like instill the belief that it's doable. So once we show them it's doable, now the belief increase. Once the belief increase, the action increase. Because I always tell people, you'll never.
I think it was uncomfortable for my team.
Oh, it's very uncomfortable
because it's not really what we do, and they weren't hired that way, right? And we were talking earlier. It's like if you don't put that in. How'd you say it? Like nice in the beginning, and then now you're putting them into something uncomfortable, and so they're gonna either expand or contract, right?
and resist because it's just human nature, right? Humans don't like change. So it's like, man, why are you changing things? And it's like, we're not changing things, we're improving things.
And we're showing you a new window of opportunity.
And the problem with most sales reps when it comes to teaching them how to canvas or start making them canvas, they view it as punishment, really as preparation. Like learning how to canvas is preparation. It's not punishment. So now if a new storm come through, a new windstorm come through, you're prepared to go win. And most people want to win, but most people don't want to put in the time that it takes to prepare to win. And this is just the preparation so we can go win the storm, right? That's the mindset. But we increase the belief. Once we increase the belief, we'll increase the action. So like Jake, we was on the doors yesterday. He saw it happen. I believe it can happen now. It's real. Now that it's real, his action will increase.
What's the one thing every sales team is missing but no one wants to admit?
That's good. The one thing that every sales team is missing but nobody wants to admit. Really good training.
Bro, when you came out this weekend, like I train my team all the time, like I totally see that. Like you're a professional trainer. You come out, this is what you do. Like it's a totally different energy. I see it in my whole team.
Mm-hmm.
How do you build that in a company?
So
like if you're telling this to like a guy starting out his company right now,
yeah.
and he's trying to start build his team.
Well, first of all, you gotta have a curiosity for training and learning, right? Most people don't, and you gotta be patient. Training requires a lot of patience. Because most of us as owners, right, we want to get a guy to get him some deals, get him going, leave me alone. You're done.
Make me money.
Make me money. I look at it as like, no, bro, I'm just dealing with big kids. And kids need a lot of love. Kids need a lot of TLC. Kids need a lot of compassion, empathy. They need a lot of validation. They need a lot of correction. They need a lot of, understanding, acknowledgement. But when we recruit people, we like, this dude 33. So if he's 33, you know what I mean? He should know. So we skip a lot of the things that it comes to when it comes to cultivating a human. So it has nothing to do with building a sales rep. It's what do humans need to grow? How do you train your kids, right? I always ask people, you got kids? They say, yeah. I say, your kids know how to tie their shoes? They say, yeah. I said, did they get it the first time? They said, no. I said, so when they didn't get it the first time, did you just say, fuck shoes, you only wearing flip-flops the rest of your life? No. You sit them down, you show them again, you correct them again, right? So you got to have a genuine love for like human growth and development, not just let me get you equipped to make you some money. So I study human nature at a very high level. I study how to get people to learn, how people retain information, what's the best way people receive information, like the theatrics, just everything that it comes to training. And training is something you do, not something you did, right? But if you, as a company, just to go back to your question, as a guy that's starting his new company, he want to get an in-house trainer. That's all you let him do. You don't make him sell. You don't expect no big numbers from him. None of those things. You only let him invest 80% of his time into learning how to develop people. And you got to be okay with the slow progression of him cultivating his skills. Because the company that I work for that allowed me to like polish up all these skills.
How much time are you saying? Like 3 months, 6 months, 2
Years.
years? Like
years.
You bring a person in, I'm like, all right, this guy has potential. He has the work ethic. He doesn't have the skills yet. How long are we giving him to start producing?
Talking about a sales rep?
Yeah.
A new sales rep should be producing, bro, no later than 4 weeks.
So you're saying the trainer has a lot of time to build his skill as a trainer?
Yeah, as a trainer. Because it's a lifelong.
So you work with this guy to like nurture and grow him so that he can continue to build your company. So you take time with building the skill of leadership and training with that trainer individual, but the actual reps that come in still need to meet their targets. And
reps need to meet their targets.
So you're saying be patient with the actual trainer.
Be patient with the guy that you're allowing to be your trainer, yeah. Okay. Sales reps, you need to come in, get equipped, get hit the ground running, get the stuff you need, close some deals, and then we got our trainers constantly growing and getting better. He keeping you polished up. But yeah, rep, you need to be performing.
So with coaching as a trainer, you told me something earlier that I thought was invaluable, and I think it'd be great to share. You were saying like there's 4 layers to training, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain those?
Yeah. So you got to teach people what to do, when to do it, why to do it, and how to do it, right? But the problem with most people, they only know how to teach people how to do things. Hey, watch me do this, you do this, right? I'm showing you how to do something.
Totally.
Right? Then you get a good teacher, he elevate to the next level, and he can teach you what to do. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. Not only this how you do it, but I can talk you through it. I'm going to teach you what to do, right? Then you hit a new level of teaching when you can teach people when to do things. So, like, you can watch a sales rep pitch, and you can say, great pitch, bad timing. You did it at the wrong time. I always tell people you can say the right thing in the wrong order, and it has no impact. What you experienced today, right? Like, went to the lady house. You're like, hey, what's the name of your homeowner's insurance? They're like, nah, we good. Like, right thing, just wrong order, no impact, right? So now you done taught them how to do it. You done taught them what to do. Now you done taught them when to do it. And then you go to the highest level of teaching when you teach people why they doing what they do. And then once you bring them all together, now people got a like high level of understanding of how to do things. And now they know how to do it at the highest level possible because they know what to do, when to do, how to do it, and why to do it.
Where'd you learn that?
Some of my coaches.
And you've actually mentioned some amazing coaches that you've worked with. Myron Golden, right? You worked with him.
Worked with Myron.
Who are some of the mentors and coaches that brought you to where you are today?
Myron Golden, Coach Michael Burt. I got to learn from Grant Cardone. I got to learn from Eric Thomason and Associates. I got a coach, his name Terrell Muhammad. I paid him for 26 weeks of coaching. He helped me understand the assessment at a very deep level. I got another coach, his name Devin Bendison. He's the go-to mindset coach for the NBA. He just taught me some really like just deep internal work, right? What's some other coaches I work with? Let me think for a second. Them just some of the most impactful ones that I could think in this moment, right? I don't work with, I've studied guys like Alan Steen, Brian Kane. Brian Kane was my mental performance coach. Just all of these guys. And I tell everybody when it comes to the difference between me and most people in our industry is I learn from everybody outside of our industry, then I bring it back to our industry. So I've never learned from no roofing coaches.
So you didn't just win Hustler of the Year once, you did it twice.
Back to back, baby.
Back to back.
Back to back.
So
Only one that ever did.
What does that title mean to you?
It mean a lot to me because it's one of those things that.
What was that? Was that when you were in the roofing? When you were working for a roofing company?
No, it was with Roof Hustlers. Like, so it's Daughter Docon. So Sam Taggart, he put on Daughter Docon.
Yeah.
And what they do is they do these industry awards, right? Biggest Hustler of the Year, all these things like that. And we won Biggest Hustler of the Year our first year. And the reason why it means so much to me because it's one of those like, it's like making it to the Pro Bowl. The fans voted. Like all of the fans choose who
That's
this
awesome.
guy is, right? So to go back-to-back years that the entire door-to-door community viewed me as the biggest hustler in the entire door-to-door community, not just roofing, but the entire door-to-door community. That's why it means so a lot to me, man. I could have won it 3 years in a row, but I'm like, nah, I don't want it no more. You know what I mean?
So when you were the Hustler of the Year, do you feel pressure to always show up at that level?
Nah, because I think I view it like this. It's like I look at it like Lil Wayne. Like once he say he's like the best rapper alive, it's just like who you are. Mm-hmm. It's not a facade. It's not a stigma. It's just like we gonna out hustle you all day, bro. Like that's just what we gonna do. Point blank. Period. We might not out thank you, but we're gonna outwork you. We're gonna out hustle you. Right? I'm gonna do more shows than you. I'm gonna do more events than you. I'm gonna coach and train more teams than you. I'm still gonna spend more time with my kids than you. Like I'm just gonna out hustle you on all levels to where, like even in June, I'm on a 5-day, 1-day event run. I got an event on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday in a different state every day. So I'm only there for 24 hours. Wham, bam, kill it in this county, this city, this city, this city, this city. Right? So it's just like they ain't built like that, bro. Like
it's just you.
Yeah.
You come with that energy.
Man, you know how many people be like, how many trainings you do a month? I'm like 3, 4. You don't be tired? No.
That's what probably gives you the energy. Huh?
That's how I get energized. I get tired when I be home.
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? I'm on the road so much that it's weird when I'm home now. Because I'm like, damn, what I do on the weekend? Because I don't party.
Yeah.
I like to party. I just don't. Because I'm always training every weekend. So, like, I'm going to sleep 9 o'clock, getting up 5 in the morning, and y'all a small team, so I got lucky. But like when I go train some companies, we got 15 sales reps, bro. I'm doing one-on-ones from 7 till 12 p.m. I'm doing office training from 12 till 3 p.m. I'm knocking doors from 3:30 till sundown. And then
You're
hustling, bro. And it depends on what companies I'm working with. Cats like, after we done knocking, can I pick your brain? I'm like, God damn. All right, come on, bro. Let's go sit down and talk for another hour and keep waxing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
You know, it just came to mind. You were talking to me earlier about the like creating brands, right? And I was asking you how to build a personal brand, and you've built like an amazing personal brand with Roof Hustlers, and like I recognized you when my buddy Mick showed me your posted you training his team, and I was
Rooney,
like,
what's up, baby?
Yeah, he's awesome. Shout out to Mick for connecting us. But no, you actually like you stood out. I saw you on social media somewhere before. The bow tie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it. So tell me what you told me earlier about the branding and how to like put a logo and like that. Like I think that's something that maybe a lot of people don't understand. And like the sayings, right? Like remember like repeating the same kind of thing and all that kind of stuff. So tell us about your brand and how you would do that if it was this or if it was a energy drink or whatever.
So what I learned from studying the game, right? And we used to make music back in the day, like I was talking to you about. So I watched us do this. We did this when we was 20. I mean, we was trending on Twitter back in 2010.
You're
like
a good singer, bro.
Thank you, man. When trending was a thing, right? So the first thing I realized was like, hey, man, first and foremost, your brand got to be authentic. Got to be authentic, right? Which means
be yourself.
Show up as you. So I'm from the hood. I use slang. I love rap music. I love Converse. I've been rocking Converse since I was, 20 years old.
Like different color Converse
I got
every day, bro.
Yeah, I got it tatted on me.
Yeah,
matching the bow tie. So like, I love Converse.
Yeah.
I'm urban, right? So I'm like, we got to bring all of that to the brand.
Yeah.
Right? It don't even go at roofing.
Yeah.
Like, it don't even go at roofing. So I didn't think about roofing when I was thinking about building my brand. So I rocked the bow tie. We created the logo with the bow tie because it's like, that's the brand, right? Then now you're memorable. Something that people can remember, the Golden Arches, right? Burger King, the Colonel.
A logo.
Taco Bell, right?
Something.
Not even a logo.
Okay.
Just something we can remember.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Like, for Taco Bell, for the longest, you don't remember the Taco Bell. You remember the Chihuahua. Like,
what's the Chihuahua?
No quiero Taco Bell. Like, you don't remember the Chihuahua? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right? When you say I got you. Yeah.
So, or even McDonald's, you don't remember the Golden Arches. You remember Ronald McDonald, the clown, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The characters.
Yeah.
That's what, growing up, that's what I thought of McDonald's was the Hamburglar and, Grimace and all of these people. So it's like, boom, we create the logo. Now it's the bow tie. Has nothing to do with the house, nothing. My logo is a house in the size.
You don't probably even care about the bow tie, right? It's just that happens to be the brand. So that's
the
what
brand.
You have something that we're picking this to be the thing, and
That's the
we're going
thing.
to stick with that thing.
Because now, any way you see it, you think of me.
Yep.
Everywhere. Especially in our industry.
Yep.
You see a bow tie, you think of Dashaun, right? So boom, we got the bow tie. Now we got consistent colors. Always want to have consistent colors. You don't want to be wild with it, right? My brother taught me this because my brother used to do professional.
He's graphic designer.
Graphic
artist,
designer.
right? Yeah.
But yeah, like Abercrombie and Fitch, Nike, Pokemon, like all these things. So my brother was like, you want to be clean, memorable. So we black, white, and red. We never deviate from those colors.
Okay.
Black, white, and red.
On all your branding,
everything.
Online.
Black, white, and red. Everywhere we go.
Flyer, it's going to, okay.
Everything, right? So we got that set up. Then it's like the next thing, once we got the brand going, first and foremost, you need things that get stuck in people's head, right? Like, for example.
What do people know you for?
Hustlers, right? And that took me about 6 months to come up with it because I would just get on camera. I'd be like, what's up, it's your boy Dashaun. All right, that ain't it. And I just kept doing it. And then one day I'm in the field and I'm like, hustlers. I'm like, oh shit, that's it. Kept doing that, right? Then we got hustle hard, hustle smart, don't be afraid to bogart, right? Even when
you need like a catchphrase. You need something that's like
something that gets stuck in
so
people's head.
They think of you. When they hear it, yeah.
Right. Like
McDonald's, I'm loving it.
I'm loving it, right? Or Chili's, baby back ribs. Nobody go there and eat their baby back ribs, bro.
So you have to have
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
When you think of
Chili's,
baby back ribs, right?
Yeah.
So we created the hustlers. The hustle hard, hustle smart, don't be afraid to bogart, right? Those was our first 2 catchphrases that we created. So every video for my first 4 years, hustlers, hustlers, hustlers.
Dude, when I called Mick, I was like, you got the hustlers, hustlers, hustlers guy. Like, it works.
It works,
Yeah.
right? Because now we want
And
to.
it doesn't matter if you feel silly or weird to say it. Like, you're creating something that's going to stick in people's heads.
And that's the part of building the brand. That's the authenticity, the being authentic part. You can't care about what other people think about you.
You got to get over that.
You just got to get over that. You got to show up as you every single day. So when we was creating the brand, I was like, man, we call Roof Hustlers, right? So it's like, how do we make this look as authentic as possible? I would get epiphanies when I'm out knocking doors, and I just pull out my phone. No video crew, nothing.
You just record it.
Just recording myself in the field. Hustlers, hustlers, hustlers. What's cracking? This your boy, Dashaun. My videos of me in the field used to get the most views.
And I think that's why authentic, right? Because it's like you're not setting up a camera team. You're just like fucking being real with you're on FaceTime with your mom or something.
Like I'm just talking to the people.
Yeah.
Right. So all of those things started to grow. So I was one of the first people in the roofing industry, just being fully transparent, that was in the field recording content. Nobody else was doing the shit.
Yeah.
So I was first mover's advantage, right? So, and just one more thing to add to it, just being truthful. This is a white man's industry.
Yeah.
Right? And it don't got nothing to do with race. It is. It's construction,
Okay.
right? And I was one of the first black dudes in a white man's industry talking about roofing.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone was a part of the brand. So you're a black dude, white man industry, hip hop.
Yeah.
Like when I'm doing my YouTube channel, I got rap songs on it.
Yeah.
It ain't no generic music. And I used to rap. So after my 3rd video on YouTube, I made my own song. So all of my videos on YouTube is all of my own songs. So my whole brand is authentic. Everything is who I am as a person, right? And I always tell people branding is what people say about you. Marketing is what you tell people about you. So my brand.
That's good.
My brand is what everybody say about me. Oh, Dashaun, he cool as fuck, bro. He authentic, bro. He down to earth. He one of the coolest people I met. That's my brand. The bow tie and everything stuff like is part of it, but my brand is what people go around and say about me. And people say what they say about me because I show up as my authentic self everywhere I go.
Nobody's ever told me that before. Marketing is what you say about yourself.
Branding is what people say about you. So that's why I tell owners.
That's why it's important to do a good job when you're out there, and because
you the brand.
You can market all you want, but in the end of the day, like if you really want to build a business, it's referrals and what people are saying, and
you the brand.
I came to you from referral, so
you the brand. So I always tell
that's
owners.
That's huge, bro, because I that just clicked for me. I didn't even think about that before.
Even from a grand scheme of things, right? That's why I tell owners when you hire certain reps, be mindful. They represent your brand. They ain't representing your company. They representing your brand. So when they go around and they see a sales rep doing something crazy and they got on a Master Roofing shirt, that's your brand. So that's how we built this thing up, man. And now it's just so strong, bro. It don't stop no more. It just got hella momentum. And by the graces of God, we done did some pretty cool events. But it's funny now because like if I'm in public and I don't got the bow tie on, that's the first thing they say, man, where the bow tie at, man? Where the bow tie at, man? I'm like, only way I want to making money. Only way I want to making money, man.
So you dropped a song, The Epitome of a Hustler.
Yep.
What inspired it?
What inspired it actually is, you know Cameron?
I don't.
Gotcha. So Cameron, he part of Dipset, but he got this podcast called It Is What It Is podcast. And he used to rap.
Okay. I don't know anyone, by the way, so that's... Yeah.
It's all good, right? But he part of Dipset. They used to rap. And
cool.
When they start their new seasons,
yeah,
he would just get on his podcast, drop a beat, and do a freestyle. And I'm like, damn, that's a good idea. Because I'm like, I know how to rap. I've been rapping since I was 8 years old. I'm like, you know what? We about to drop a freestyle to wrap up the last 7 years of what we've been doing.
Okay.
So then 2024, when the new year hit, we created the Epitome of a Hustler. And it was to give people a 7-year recap of everything we did the past 7 years that got us to where we at right now. So that's what really inspired it, was me watching Cameron do his freestyle. And I'm like, bet we can do that. We could duplicate that. And then we created the Epitome of a Hustler. And it was dope, man, because I hid that side of me for a while in the roofing industry because I was so fixated on selling and, just being really good. And once I opened up that side of me, the brand grew more because I got a bunch of DMs of like, Oh, bro, I make beats. Oh, bro, I rap too. Oh, bro, I do that. I didn't know you do that. And then it made people feel that much closer to me.
And what is like if you put your passion with your like
Your purpose?
are you passionate about selling roofs?
Nah.
No, but you figured out how to make roof passionate by
Yeah.
pulling that out of you, that energy of the when you're making music into
Yeah.
like I'm gonna. What's that prayer you do every day when you go out there? What's your prayer that you sing? And you have your mantra too.
Yeah. Before I hit the doors, so I pray every day before I knock doors, just because humans crazy, right? But that's besides the point. But I go, dear Heavenly Father, I ask that you allow today to be a great day. I ask that you bless me with the knowledge, the courage, the strength, the wisdom, the power through my day at the highest level possible. Allow me to be sharp as a tack, enthusiastic, and the force to be reckoned with. Allow me to come out here and help as many homeowners as we can, and allow me to finish the day how I start the day, and that's strong. I say this thing in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And then I do 3-bit claps, and then after I come out of those 3 claps, I say game time. And that's how I get locked in.
Game time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's how I get locked in before I knock doors.
That's awesome, man.
And my mantra, my life declaration, which is huge, right? Because like I said, your world is your language, right? So when I get negative thoughts, when I second guess myself, I don't dial into my negative thoughts. I go to my mantra, which is I am happy, healthy, wealthy, focused, and dangerous. I'm a pro. Every day I'm taking steps to move my family forward, changing lives everywhere I go, making connections to get keys to open new doors. I'm a millionaire. And I'll say that about 10 to 15 times just to redirect my thoughts instead of to focus on the negative things.
That's so huge. You know, like I'm gonna create a mantra for myself.
I'm gonna hold you accountable to that. He done said it on the podcast. So now we gotta get you a declaration or a mantra, man.
Dude, and even the prayer too, it's like you have it memorized. Like you created something and you're like and it's like it's so positive and
it all dials back from the music, bro.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it all dialed back from the music.
I was gonna ask you like how'd you come up with it, but it's like you
I know how to rap.
You come up with beats and rap and
it's just like the Roof Hustlers intro. Welcome back to another episode of Roof Hustlers, baby. Where we help you guys go from average to good, from good to great. Always keep food on your plate, baby, because if you do what I do, you know it's like a jungle out here. Yeah, it's all around.
That's awesome, man. Is music part of your brand or part of your soul?
Oh, it's part of my soul, man. I love music, love everything about music, from rap music to country music to Amy Winehouse, one of my favorite artists. Like, I just love everything about music, man, and fell in love at 8 years old. And one of the main reasons I love door-to-door sales because it's an opportunity to perform. I get in front of homeowners. I get to put on a show every single day.
Do you think reps should rap their pitch if it helps them stand out?
1,000%. You memorize things in a tune way easier. That's the only reason you know your ABCs. Yeah. That's the only reason you know your ABCs. You sing it. A, B, C, D. Things in a rhythm, you remember them better. That's why you can remember your favorite song, but if I give you a script to read it,
and you kind of do have a rhythm when you're with the customer, you know? Mm-hmm. I noticed that now that we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you definitely should read it in a rhythm format. You'll lock it in your head way better.
So you used to make music. You're obviously still doing that. We talked about that earlier. Yep. You're doing your last album. And how does that show up in a way you sell? How does that show up in the way you sell and train?
The way it's showing up now, because I got a homie that passed away February this year, died in a single car accident, crashed into a retention pond, you know what I mean, whatever happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it sucks. And it's life, though. That's one of the craziest things I learned about the whole situation was like, bro, when you die, life goes on. Like, I know it's easier said than done, but it's like people only mourn for a few days, bro. Like, your mama gonna mourn for a long time. Maybe your girl, maybe your kids, right? But everybody else, like, after a month, bro, they back in their regular life, bro. You know what I mean?
You're being real, yeah.
Yeah, life really goes on. So in that situation, it really made me sit back and say, if I, like, when I die, because who knows when that's gonna be, right? Because, like, people say tomorrow ain't promised. When you lose a random homie, like, not somebody you know about to die, but when it really make you, like, understand that principle of, like, tomorrow ain't promised. Because
that's a much different way to look at life.
Way different way to look at life. So after that happened, I was like, man, last thing I want to do is die and be like, or be on my deathbed or be sick or be in a situation in my life where I'm like, man, I should have did this. I should have did that. Mm-hmm. So we was like, you know what? We finna do this last album. whether anything come from it, who cares? But at least we can, before we die, we can say, hey,
Where can they find it?
you can find us right now on iTunes, Spotify, all streaming platforms. Money High, MONEYHIGH. So it's Money High, and the last album we're doing is Money High for Life, man. But yeah, so we made this commitment after the homie died that we're gonna put this album together and we're gonna show up at a very high level. And we got it done. We just mixing and mastering it. It should be out like late July, August.
What does music teach you that business school never will?
The thing that music can teach you that business school never will is that music is a universal language, and through music you can connect strangers and souls and people. Like, you could put a group of strangers in a room and turn on music, bro, and nobody's strangers no more. You could put a group of strangers in a group of people in a business room. They can come in as strangers, leave as strangers. But when music involved, like, it's so much love. It's like it'll trigger you. It'll send you down like memory lane. It create thought triggers and emotions in people, man. So it's just, I love music, man. Me and my kids connect through music. So now my kids starting to see that I make music. So now my daughter made her first song. Like, it ain't in the studio, but like, she coming up with her own words, and we sitting down and I'm like making beats for her, and like we freestyle together and stuff. And it just, I think music bring you closer, man. I think music bring out a genuine love in people, man. My personal opinion.
I love that. It's so true what you said though. Like, you put a bunch of people in a room for business school, and you're just gonna be colleagues, right, or whatever. But you put everyone in a party with music. It's like it's human connection.
Yeah,
I never thought about it that way before.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it bring out a side of you that other things don't, man.
Okay, so what made you launch Best Hustlers Experience Live?
Well, first and foremost, we've been on the road for the last 5 years, and we just got to this point to where it's like, we got to put on our own event. We got to put on our own event.
This
We got
is your first big,
event,
yeah.
first big event, man. We only can seat 120 people, so it's not no sales tactic. It's just what it is. But I'm gonna tell you the story. So I went to this. So first of all, anytime you're experiencing low levels of living in your life is due to a lack of commitment, whether that's finances, fitness, spirituality, relationship, no matter. You're not committed. So I used to doubt myself in that arena. I'm like, man, can we put on an event? Will we sell it out? But every time I do an event, I sell it out. Whether who putting it on, it don't matter. When I'm the guy, we pack the house.
Yeah.
Right? So I go to this event in Florida, dude named Devin Bennison, one of my coaches. So he challenging us, like, at a very high level. He said, what you trying to create this weekend? I'm like, an event. He like, what's the name of the event? I'm like, we're going to call it the Best Hustler Experience. After coming to your thing, because this thing called the Game Changer Experience. I'm like, man, we're going to call it the Best Hustler Experience. He's like, what you need to do to get it done? I'm like, we need to make a flyer. He's like, when you making this flyer? I'm like, he's like, Monday? I'm like, yeah, Monday. This is like Saturday. I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it Monday. He's like, okay. What else you need to get done? He's like, you need to create the landing page so people can buy tickets? I'm like, yeah. He's like, when you going to have that done? I was like, he's like, by the end of Friday? I'm like, yeah, end of Friday, right?
Who's telling you this?
My coach, Devin Bennison, right? So he talking to me, but he making me commit.
Yeah.
Monday, end of Friday. He's like, what date you doing it? I'm like, we already got a date, November 13th and 14th. So like, okay. He's like, who you need to call to make this happen? I'm like, my business partner. He's like, when you going to call him? I like, on the break? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to call him on the break. He's like, you in front of 25 strangers. He said, 0 to 10, what's your level of commitment to getting all this done? I'm like, a 10. He's like, let's just see how committed you are. On the break, call my business partner, tell him, hey, man, I got the name of the event. We're going to call it the Best Hustler Experience. We need to have a flyer done Monday. We need to have a landing page done by Friday. And then we need to make a commitment to get at least $20,000 in sponsors by the end of the month. We made that commitment. We dropped the flyer on Monday, dropped the landing page that Friday. We got $25,000 in sponsorships in 3 days.
That's amazing, man.
And that's just what it looks like when you commit. We ain't have no venue. Like, we ain't have nothing. We just dropped the flyer, landing page.
How did you do that? Like, get the make everything happen. You know, because people always get in front of, they get in their way by planning out too much and they don't execute, right?
Commitment.
So, but what were the steps you took after you committed? You got on the phone, partner,
Yep.
Called the graphic designer, got the flyer made, then you got
dropped it.
Yep.
Landing page.
Started calling people you guys work with and say, hey, you
made a list. Okay. Made a list of everybody that we think would be a good sponsor.
Yep.
Send them emails, called them. Everybody said yes. Not one person. Everybody's like, what? Dashaun putting on an event? Psh, say less. We'll sponsor it.
You got to give me some tickets to those events.
Yeah,
I'll buy them today.
Everything I thought that I thought would like the doubt
Mm-hmm.
didn't even exist. It was just in my own head, right? Like I was telling myself that story. So it's like once you commit, and commitment means you fully committed to the actions and the efforts and not the results. So the results don't matter. You committed to the actions and the efforts, and the actions was we're going to create a flyer, we're going to create a landing page, we're going to drop it, and we're going to reach out to as many people as we can to try to get sponsors. None of that guaranteed us anything. We just knew that was the commitments that we made. Once we made those commitments, bro, everything got...
So if you sell it out, how much money can you make on this event for like a couple days?
Honestly, on these events, first ones, you don't make too much money, bro. Like we've been playing with the numbers. It ain't nothing crazy. But I think, because we only selling tickets for $200, bro, 120 seats, that's only like, what, $20,000, $30,000, something like that.
But the sponsors cover like the venue and
the
all
venue,
stuff.
the food, all that good stuff like
So
that.
it's pretty much profit. You just need to show up and bring the game.
That's it. And that's what I love to do. You know what I mean?
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. God is good, bro. I always say I do the sowing, he do the growing, man. You know what I mean? So I'm excited, dog. I'm pumped for the event. And we got a guest speaker dude named Brandon Geyer.
Nice.
He used to be an MLB here, certified mental performance coach as well. So that's going to be exciting as well.
So why Atlanta? What's the energy you're trying to create in that room?
I just want to let you know, bro. You had some great questions. You told me you had some great questions. You really, bro. If you keep,
Bro, you're the first. You're the first guest I'm having on the podcast.
I want to let you know.
And I'm committed.
I love it. I want to let you know if you keep this energy up from the episodes beyond,
Yeah.
you're gonna have one of the best podcasts out there, bro. I just want to let you
appreciate
know.
that.
I'm being 100%.
Thank you, Dish. Maybe this is my calling, not roofing.
Hey, bro, this might be it. You got
I'm
great.
the new next Joe Rogan.
Hey,
Right?
listen, well, you're a good podcast host because I tell people what makes somebody a good podcast host is you let your guests do majority of the talking. A lot of these guys get on the podcast and they talk more than they guests. I'm like, bro, just say you want to do a single show. You know what I'm saying? But why Atlanta?
I'm glad you're feeling it, bro.
Yeah, nah, bro.
I really, really appreciate you being here.
Nah, I
Seriously.
appreciate you having me.
This wasn't part of the deal, and you've made it happen. So
Once
I'm
I
so
come in
happy.
town, bro, it's like it's all love. Once I train a company, it's all it's La Familia, bro. So from this day moving forward, you need anything, I'm one call away.
I appreciate
You
that.
know what I mean? But why Atlanta? Because it's a nice hub. So Atlanta and Texas got the most roofing companies in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So my business partner live in Atlanta. My other coach live in Atlanta. I'm the only one that live in Florida. So by putting it in Atlanta, you can come from the Carolinas, you can come from the Tennessees, you can come from the Louisianas, you could come from the Ohios. Like it's a happy median. Also, Delta is a great hub, so it's easy to fly into Atlanta, and it's easy to get through the city where we're doing the event at. So it's just
That airport's crazy, bro.
yeah, and it's it's the most efficient airport in the USA.
Dude, when I went to that airport, I was like so confused. But
so
they
efficient.
got they got the what is it, like the tram that goes all.
Yeah, the tram that goes
It is
around.
efficient.
So
that's
efficient.
for sure. Yeah,
Like-
try and run from one into the other though.
Oh, bro, that's the hard part. But it's always moving. But
Yeah.
Atlanta just a happy median, great city, great food,
Yep,
great people. Just like, and we
gonna
got a
be
lot of
amazing.
resources. It's gonna be amazing, bro.
I'm excited for you, man.
I'm pumped, dog. I gotta go get custom shoes made,
Custom bow tie, bro.
Yeah, everything, bro. Like I'm decking the shit out. I'm gonna deck the shit out.
I gotta be there, bro.
Oh, of course. I'll send you the links and everything, man. We get you set up.
So what can someone expect to walk away with after 48 hours with you in Atlanta?
After 48 hours with us in Atlanta, that made me feel like the show First 48. But 48 hours in Atlanta with us, what you can expect to walk away with is a new mindset, first and foremost, because once we get your mind right, we can get your grind right, right? Second of all, you can walk away with new strategies, tactics, and principles to improve your company. Because my really good friend Nick Brandon gonna be there working with all of the leaders, people like you, like teaching you how to strategize your business, compartmentalize your business, do all of these things. Sold private equity in 5 years, got his dad paid out, like just great dude, built his business the right way.
Roofing business?
Yeah, roofing business. Yeah. So the cool thing about it, you're gonna be learning from people who are in the game, who've done this. There's no heavy, quote unquote, heavy hitters here. We got all top performers that was a top performer this year. Like we got people training that like did 3 million this year or 2 million this year. So you get to learn from people in the game. So you're gonna get real live strategies, tactics, and principles that you could take back and implement in your roofing business or in your sales game that next day you get back home and start getting results, right? So you can expect to come back you can expect to leave as a completely different version of you than how you came.
I love it, bro. And why should someone book their ticket right now instead of waiting?
Oh, because roofers, I love them, but they always late. They always last minute. They always moving sluggish. And if you wait until September, October, November and be like, Dashaun, bro, it say you sold out. Can you get me a ticket? No. We only got room for 120 people. And if you ain't part of that 120, bro, you're just going to have to wait until next year. So the reason why you should get your tickets now, because by the time you see this podcast, depending when it's at, it might only be a spot for 50 left. So you better get your tickets now.
You ever feel like you've given people the game and they just don't want to win?
Oh, yeah, all day. All day. Yeah, man. I don't think, I think only a small percentage of people actually want to put in the time that it takes to prepare to win. But people want to win, but they don't want to work. And you can't win without working. That's just how this shit go. You know what I mean? Like, people want to be Kobe, but they don't want to do what Kobe did to be Kobe. All right? So, yeah, I give people the game all the time. That's why I give away it for free. That's why I do free YouTube episodes, because I know only 2% of the people, 5% of the people going to use the stuff I say.
If someone shadowed you for a whole week, what would shock them the most?
Still coming up.
So nowadays, you went from roofing door-to-door sales rep to now training 100+ companies all throughout the nation since 2020. What's the number one trait you see in winning teams?
Oh, man, that's a good question.
If someone shadowed you for a whole week, what would shock them the most?
Somebody shadowed me for a whole week. I think the thing, and we just talking about like work-wise.
Let's say they shadowed you work-wise, fine.
Just work-wise. I'm finna say, because holistic-wise, I think they'd be surprised. The thing that would probably shock them the most from like a holistic perspective, I'm fire when it comes to laundry. I know that's like super random, but the day I wash my laundry, I fold my laundry and I put my laundry up.
But you know, it says a lot about you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like psychologically, like you see things to the finish,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That's
I
the
think that
point
would
of
shock people the most is how efficient I am in my life. Like, my life is so calculated from a sense of like, when I wake up, I leave my house at a certain time to pick up my kids, to make sure I get inside the parent pickup line at a certain time, to make sure I'm home at a certain time, to make sure that I get to take my afternoon nap every day at a certain time. So I'm refreshed for the second half of the day, so me and my kids can go play, pickleball and do all of these things. To like, my life is so calculated. And from a working perspective, I think the thing that people would be the most shocked about me if they work with me for a week is my ability to keep conversations going when people don't want to talk to me.
I could totally see that. You say behind every principle is a promise.
Mm-hmm.
What is the principle that paid you back 100x?
I would say the principle that paid me back 100x is you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. And they should know what it means, but it means when you plant enough good seeds in this world, they gonna come back, right? So everywhere I go, I'm planting good seeds, positivity, like just encouragement, all of these things. I'm always planting good seeds. So all the things that the people see me experiencing right now in my life, I'm just reaping all the seeds I've been planting for the last 7 years, right? So everywhere I go, I'm spreading love. I did a lot of free stuff, free content, you know what I mean? Free coaching calls, free everything. I did a lot of free stuff. So now that we getting paid the money that we get paid to do what we do, it's just because of all the reaping I've been doing. And another principle that I enjoy, I just add a bonus, is when you're faithful over few, you'll be a ruler over many. And I've never wanted to be on stage. I never wanted to be speaking. I never wanted to do those things. I only wanted to fly around the country and coach and train other door-to-door sales teams. But when I used to have my canvassing team, we used to do personal development on Sundays. And I would have one person show up. And most people, if one person showed up, what do you think they would do? If only one person showed up.
To like a training that you're doing?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you mean?
Like, don't go deep. But let's say if I say, hey, man, we're doing a training on Sunday, and one person show up and you show up and there's only one person here, what the average person you think would do? Probably cancel, right?
Yeah,
man, let's just go home, bro.
Yeah.
Like, nobody ain't show up.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. I used to be in there with one person going ham. 2 people would show up, ham. 5, ham. So I've always been faithful over the little bit that God gave me. I never wanted more than what he gave me. So when I always took care of the little bit that he gave me, now 5 years later, I get to speak in front of hundreds of people. Now we get to train all
reap
of these
what you
people.
sow.
Yeah, you reap what you sow. And when you're faithful over few, you'll be a ruler over many.
How would you explain that to like your children, like in like simple terms?
Simple terms. I just tell my kids, always remember, you're going to get back what you put out. So remember, anytime you're in front of somebody, say nice things, be a good person, share, help, encourage, build up, be a friend to the lonely kid. Like, always leave people better than how you found them. Funny story. My son, most closest friend right now in his school,
How old is your son?
10 years old,
Mm-hmm.
is the boy that was making fun of him in the beginning of the year. Like, called his mama a hoe, everything, right? But this little boy just come
10-year-olds
from
be saying that?
yeah. Oh, you'd be surprised. But this little boy just came from a very troubled home.
Understood.
And troubled kids, like, they don't know how to get attention outside of acting up, right? So my son see the way I move. He embraced him, showed up for him, X, Y, and Z. Because one day he's like, "Daddy, I just want to punch him." I said, "Nah, we don't do that." He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Cause did he hit you?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "All right, then you don't need to defend yourself." And we don't start things, we finish things, right? Long story short, now that's like one of his really good friends now. And it's like, because I try to teach my son, it's like we leave people better than how we found them. We don't judge people. We don't think we better than people. We just always do our best to extend the olive tree or extend a hand out to help people anytime we can.
What's your biggest flex nobody knows about?
Oh, that's a really good question. My biggest flex that nobody knows about. I ran a Savage race when I was 25 years old and came in third place.
What's the Savage race?
Savage race is 6 miles, 15 obstacle courses.
Oh, like fitness?
Mm-hmm. When I was 25 years old, Savage race, 300 plus people. I came in third place.
Okay, that's pretty crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm. 25.
How did you have to train a lot for that?
I ran 3 miles every day for 30 days. Me and my dog, this one, he was a puppy. Yeah, ran 3 miles every day because I knew I could do the physical stuff. I just knew I wouldn't have the stamina.
What's the realest thing you've ever told yourself in the mirror?
The realest thing I ever told myself in the mirror, I would probably have to say that, oh man, that's a really good one. The realest thing I had to tell myself in the mirror is that the decisions that I make don't only impact me. Because I'm a very...
Like family-wise or?
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah,
Business?
2 years ago I got in trouble in life, had a DUI in 2021, beat it, had some issues where I didn't get my probation and stuff taken care of in enough time. Long story short, I had a warrant for like 6.5 months. I'm still flying around the country coaching and training people, like no big deal. And ended up getting in trouble in the middle of a training. Like while I'm training.
I was about to ask, imagine that happened.
No, happened day one of training in Florida because I'm driving my own truck. So my tags, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, I go to jail that Thursday, like that night, because I'm like about to go to the gas station, get pulled over by the police, go to jail that night, get locked up in the middle of the training. Got locked up on November 17th. I missed Thanksgiving and I missed Christmas. I was part of a mentorship group. I missed all of my coaching calls. I had to cancel like 3 trainings. Like my kids ain't seen me for 60 days. Just like all this stuff like that. Like everything in my life just got disrupted. And I was like, man, sometimes you're so selfish, bro, because you only make decisions and you only think about yourself. Like you don't, like I think about other people, but I don't think about how the decisions that I make gonna affect the people around me. So ever since that day, I think 3 or 4 levels deep before I do things. So now I'm like, okay, this one decision, who else is going to affect?
What is it you said? A 15-second decision can affect 15 years or something like
15-second reaction can take 15 years of your life, right? So ever since that situation, one of the realest things I had to tell myself was like, bro, you selfish. You really make decisions and you don't think about nobody else who going to be impacted by the decisions that you make. And that ain't a good way to go through life. So ever since that day, I've been making way better decisions.
And you have, bro. You built like an amazing brand, and you know you're killing it. You put so much into my team this week too. Seriously, like
Thank you.
like, and how did a guy from the hood, with a bow tie and a gold chain, build a national brand?
I think if I had to put it into words, one thing about people that come from where we come from, the hood, we're very creative, right? We're very outspoken. We're very rebellious, right? So we don't really care about what other people think about us, right? We've been acting a fool since we've been kids, right? I've been rapping, I've been battle rapping, I've been doing all these things. So I've always loved being in front of people. So I'm like, man, this can't be that difficult. So I do what I do, and I don't care what nobody think about it. And I think that's my biggest advantage when we built this brand and everything that we've created now. I've never, like I told you, I had to tell myself the decisions that you make affect people around you, because my entire life, I just make decisions and I only think about me. Mm-hmm. So when we built this thing, I never thought about what nobody thought, never cared about what anybody thought. And that's how we ended up here, man. I just think not really caring what other people thought about us.
And you mentioned that Grant Cardone changed your life.
Mm-hmm.
What was the line that flipped the switch for you?
Every industry got a gap in it. If you can close a gap, you'll make a lot of money. And coming from the hood, I ain't never heard nobody talking like that. I still got notes to this day from that first day that I ever heard him talk. I still got that notebook. I still go back and look at it from 2017. And
why?
Because I like to re-ingrain information in my head, right? So I don't like to learn things. I like to master things. The purpose of learning anything is to master it, not to know it. But people like to learn things just to say, I know that. It's like, no, I like to learn things to say I've mastered that, right? So I'll go back and read notes from 2017 just to re-ingrain the information, to re-spark that fire, ignite that fire again, and kind of get me back on those principles or those thoughts at that time. But if every industry got a gap. If you can close the gap, you'll make a lot of money. And now, ever since that day, all I do is look for gaps.
When you say a gap, like how would you explain that in a more simple way? Like you're looking for, what do you mean by gap?
Like the missing link, right? Like it's
something that's like nobody's doing maybe in that
or
industry or that whatever it is, that you could be working at a bakery, right? And you're looking for like, the gap would be like what? Like
for example, we just using it for example. Like maybe we looking at a bakery and like, okay, they got a brick and mortar, right? Mm-hmm. But what's the gap? It's like, man, nobody don't deliver baked goods. What if we could start delivering baked goods? I'm pretty sure somebody do it now, right? But it's like,
no, but this way that's the point. Yeah.
What if we could start delivering baked goods?
Somebody can understand. Yeah.
So like even in the roofing industry, I was like, man, I can't be the only guy that got took out for 2 days and they told him he got it. I'm like, man, what if we could put our free information that guys can go look up on their own, utilize, start getting results. They'll fall in love with the free shit. I'll take over the industry. Wow, that's the gap. This industry suck at training.
And then it's just massive action.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you realize you were meant to be a coach, not just a closer?
I would say probably like 8 months into the game.
Right when you had your breakdown, kind of around that same time?
Mm-hmm. Because when I started to have my breakdown, they started making me train people.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because
why would they make the broken guy train people?
Well, they didn't know I was broken. This was just going through my own internal dialogue, right?
Gotcha.
So I ain't going around like, I don't know if I can do this.
You're not a complainer.
I'm not a complainer.
You're showing up 100%.
Yeah, but in my mind, I couldn't get to 2. So I'm like, something wrong, right?
Gotcha.
But they started giving me reps to train. Mm-hmm. You know, like, just let them go out with you for a few days.
Interesting.
And they would come out with me. Believe it or not, that's what like kind of saved me, because now I'm training. Now that I'm training, I'm talking about everything that I'm doing. So now I'm reverse engineering all of the stuff that I do, helping them out, helping them get better, helping them grow. And I had this one guy's named Hobbin. He just really like stuck to my hip. And I took this dude from 1 deal a week to averaging 5 deals a week. And once I saw him winning, I'm like, I can teach this to everybody. Like, this ain't like an anomaly thing, because he wasn't that good. And I'm like, if I could take this guy from 1 to 5, I can help anybody. So that's when I started realizing I can actually coach and train people, because I had the patience and I had the love for the game of helping people get better.
So what did people get wrong about you when you were just starting out? Like, what's the main thing people are getting wrong about you?
And when you say roof, you mean roof sales or roof hustlers, or in general?
I would just say maybe in general, or what comes to mind.
I would say the thing
what do people get wrong about you?
Yeah, I would say the thing that people get wrong about me, they don't know I know as much as I know.
You think they judge the book by a cover?
Yeah, I think they think I'm a door-to-door guy. Like, they so fixated on the doors. They're like, all he do is door-to-door. He's just a door-to-door guy.
Is it because of your brand, or what do you think?
It's because of the brand. Yeah. But then I sit down with people and they're like, whoa, It's way more than I thought it was. I ain't know this. I ain't know that. So I think people don't understand how much I study life, and I don't study doors at all. Like I don't study door-to-door sales. I study humans, and I don't think people understand how much I can good at reading people, unpacking people, and bringing a side out of people that people can't bring out of their people on their own.
Bro, from what I saw this weekend, like I bet like in a couple of years you're gonna be charging like $250,000 to see a small
That's the goal,
group,
man.
to see a small group for just a speech, and I think you're gonna be like, I don't think you're gonna be in roofing. I think you're gonna be like across business, like inspiring people and giving them the right mindset. I believe that's where you're gonna end up, just because this has only been a couple of years. It sounds like you've had different things in life, and like just from like the energy, right? And you already have a platform, and now you're growing. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I see you doing that. Like
I receive all of those things. The first company I ever trained, this dude named Luke. Shout out to Luke. I did the first training with him, right? Like American Roofing in Tennessee. Did that first training. He looked at me. He said, "This just the start. This shit about to blow up." And then
it was like after COVID that you really started online, or before?
No, I was already online before COVID. I was online since 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So
my first
how
training
many
was in
years is that?
2020. Took me 3 years. Oh, total years, 8 years.
2028. So you've been hustling for a minute with this. What's the biggest lie new salespeople believe about door to door?
The biggest lie?
Yeah.
That people don't like them coming to their door.
Okay.
I think people love it.
You say the roofing industry is broken when it comes to training. How so?
It's broken when it comes to training because our industry, they believe the best way to retain people is to get you results. And that's not how you retain people. You retain people by equipping them with the skills that they need on their own to go produce results on their own. So people think training is modeling, and modeling ain't training. Modeling is modeling.
If you had to train a brand new sales rep to close in 7 days, what's day one look like?
Day one, train a brand new sales rep to close in 7 days. Day one is strictly mindset, no field work. So we're gonna come in, we're gonna teach you all of the principles, the strategies, the tactics, the thought process that you need to win this game, right? All of that on day one. So when I used to have my sales rep, day one, we teach you everything, mindset, all of that good stuff. We're going to give you the script, tell you to go home and learn it. And then day two, we're going to get you going from there. But day one, I'm going to give you the mindset and everything that you need to win.
And you say, get your mind right so you can get your grind right. What does that actually look like in practice?
Getting your mind right so you can get your grind right. What does that actually look like in practice? That means overcoming your limited beliefs. Right? That means getting your self-talk right. That means creating a vision. That means embracing pressure, right? That means practicing for certain objections before you run into them, memorizing your script, like doing all of the mental work before you actually go do the physical work. So that's how we get our mind right before we can go get our grind right.
So what does your morning routine look like before you go out knocking doors?
Oh, before I go hit the doors, morning routine, we getting up 5:30, going to the gym for 45 minutes, coming back home, reading whatever book I'm reading at that moment for another 30 to 45 minutes. Right now I'm reading The Art of the Impossible, phenomenal read. After that, I'm finding a topic of choice to study, right? Basics, details, mental toughness, positive mental attitude, whatever it may be, anything that's piquing my curiosity. Study that for 45 minutes. Doing all follow-ups with my homeowners of potential deals. I'm locating the 3 neighborhoods I'm going to work that day, because if this one ain't popping, I'm already going here. If that one ain't popping, I'm already going there. I don't waste time driving around. And by the time 3:30 hit, locked and loaded, ready to get in the field.
How do you stay consistent when your life feels like it's falling apart?
Routine. The routine. Your routine going to keep you anchored. Once you get anchored, you can stay consistent. The problem is life get hectic, right? You start focusing on the hectic. You get out of routine. Now you get stressed. Now you get anxious. When life get hectic, you double down on your routine. You get more anchored in your routine, because your routine is everything that you need to go into a chaotic life with a clear mindset.
Interesting. When did emotions like cost you everything? or almost cost you everything?
Um,
Because you said mindset, routine, right? So like emotions, like
honestly, to answer that question, only time emotions cost me everything was just in my personal life when I made a very emotional decision within my relationship that I did some shit that ruined my relationship. But other than that, bro, I'm not a very emotional person.
okay.
Yeah, I'm very even keel.
What's the difference between motivation and discipline in this game?
Motivation gets you started in the game. Discipline keeps you consistent in the game. That's how I view it.
So from a personal story, like tell me about the hardest door you ever knocked and what it taught you.
Hardest door I ever knocked. Damn, that's a really good question. It's such a loaded
You knocked
question.
so many doors.
Yeah,
There.
I've knocked so many doors, bro. To say the hardest door I ever knocked, I would say the hardest. I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna say the hardest door I had to ever learn how to knock was quote unquote my own car door. Because I used to the first few years I would spend a lot of time driving around saying, "Oh, there ain't no damage here. There ain't no damage there. This neighborhood ain't good. This neighborhood ain't bad," and I could never get out my car. So I would spend an hour and a half driving around
Looking for the perfect
looking for the
place.
perfect place. So once I learned how to get that door open, it was easy to go knock a bunch of doors after that. So now we just pull up in neighborhoods and get up.
Because in insurance, you're looking for like something specific. So you're like, okay, I only see one here. Let's go to a better spot, kind of thing, right?
Yep. Then I had to teach myself just get out, get going, knock every door. Right.
So you're a stay-at-home dad while building this brand. How do you balance it all?
That's why we got up early, right?
Okay.
I did all of the stuff for me from about 5 till about 7 or 8. And then from 8 till then, I would take care of my kids. But we did both. I tell everybody, when you start chasing like high levels of success in your life, you don't enjoy balance. So it's 2 seasons of life. You got a season of focus, you got a season of balance. When you're focused, you'll have no balance, and when you balance, you got no focus.
Do you believe in like that balance thing? Like,
No, I don't believe in balance at all. I believe when you're doing something at a very high level, what you got to learn how to do is juggle shit. You got to be a good juggler. So you got family, you got fitness, you got finances, you got you know work, you got faith, all of these things. You just juggling them all. And you just got to make sure that you don't spend not too much time not touching one of those balls, because if you don't, they'll fall. So just got to be a good juggler. But
each person needs like a touch point.
maybe your girl need an hour a week, 2 hours a week. Your kids need an hour a week. Your studying need an hour a day. So I'll wake up on a regular day now, and I grind from 7 till about 12. Work. Pick my kids up from school. From 1 to 4, I'm a daddy. We getting it in. 4 to 8, like we just like living life, whatever it may be. Put them to bed, and then I like just decompress, right? But from like when I picked them up from school, my son want to go play, and I ain't like, nah, daddy got to work. I'm like, bet, let's go play, because I've already done all my work from 7 to 12, so ain't much balance. It's just really good at juggling things.
Have you ever thought about quitting Roof Hustlers?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I done had that thought. I'm like, man, it'd be nice to just get this shit back up and just go back and be like a GM for a company and just go help somebody take that company to that next level, and I have to take on all the, yeah, you know what I mean? And I have to take on all that responsibility, but then I also look at it as like you gotta be loyal to the mission that God gave you. So God told Moses to go into the land of Egypt, find all of these people, get them across the land. It's gonna take you 40 days and 40 nights. I'm pretty sure Moses wanted to quit some days, but it's like, this is what God asked me to do, man. So I just got to do it. So Roof Hustles is a calling. It wasn't a thing for money. So that's why I'm like, hey, got to stay loyal to the mission.
And I think that's important. Like if there's somebody younger out here watching this, like you can't be so focused on just the money and the paycheck. You have to be focused on something bigger. You have to have like a vision and a mission that you're chasing. So that's what keeps you going. I'm guessing when you have these moments of like, I should be a GM or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think about that sales rep that just got started. And he like, man, what the hell I just got myself into? And then I just think about him getting on YouTube, roofing sales. And then he just see a guy with a bow tie. And then I'm a hustler, man. And then boom, he like, wow, this is exactly what I needed. And I'm like, yep, he wouldn't have got that if I decided to stop.
Just a couple more questions, Dashaun.
For sure.
What's been your proudest moment so far?
With the brand? Like with Roof Hustles? My proudest moment so far, I got 2 proud moments. First proud moment is last year I got to open. Last year I was the opening keynote speaker at RoofCon, right? And RoofCon was the first conference that ever asked me to speak at, and that was in 2020. But they kept putting me on like stupid ass panels, bro. Love RoofCon, nothing against y'all, but they like put me on a marketing panel, put me on a sales panel, like everything but giving me a big stage. And then last year, so this how crazy my life is. In 2020, my baby mama was like, "What you want for your birthday?" I'm like, "Nothing." She was like, "You don't want nothing for your birthday?" I'm like, "Nah." I said, "Only thing I want for my birthday, I just want to be able to speak at an event." That's all I said I wanted for my birthday. I swear on both my kids, bro, the day of my birthday, I get a phone call. It's RoofCon. They're like, "This Dashaun?" I'm like, "Yeah." Just like, "Hey, man, we've been hearing all about you throughout the industry. We want you to speak at RoofCon this year." I get that call on my birthday. Right? That's how crazy my life is, on my birthday. So then last year, it's the day after my birthday. I get a call. "What's up, Dashaun? What's up, man? Hey, listen, man, we love you. You've been coming to the event for the last 5 years. We want you to be a keynote speaker this year." And I'm like, say less, right? So that's such a big moment to me because I didn't pay to play.
Nothing happens by mistake.
Nothing happened by mistake. But I didn't pay to play. I didn't give them money to put me on stage. It was based off my hard work, my grind, and my reputation, the brand, and they gave me the open keynote speaking at RoofCon. Second big proud moment for me was the company that I started with 6 years ago, Southern Pro Restoration, where, I was growing and all of these things, started the brand, started Roof Hustles while working for them. They just hit me up this year. Life came back full circle, and they want me to come train their canvases. So those probably like two big proud moments for me.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. God is good, bro.
So this is a good question I came up with. Like, what would you tell your younger self the day before that first roofing job? Like today, if you could go back to him.
The day I would tell my younger self before that roofing job.
Like, let's say you're going back to like day one, that roofing job, you're telling, yeah.
And my future self coming back to my.
Yeah, you're coming today to that guy.
Coming back to that guy.
And then you see little Dashaun, like first day
roofing. Yeah, you know what I mean? No grays in the beard. Just young cat, you know what I mean? I would look at that dude and I would say, "Hey, listen, man, first thing first, improve your habits, right? Like, you don't got bad habits, but you can create better habits. Fall in love with learning, right? Because you're going to do it, but fall in love with it sooner than later. Fall in love with learning, create better habits." And I would probably say the last thing I would tell them would be, don't rush this journey. Enjoy it, because what you're about to like run into is going to be everything that you imagine, but just have fun with it. That's what I'd probably tell them. From where we at to know what I'll come back now. Yeah. Educate yourself, build better habits, have a ball.
Why do most roofers fail to build a personal brand?
I think they failed to build a personal brand, in my personal opinion. I don't think they want to.
Do you think that's a mistake?
Yeah, I think you should build a brand. I think people buy brands before they buy companies. I just, that's why.
Like we were talking about that earlier. You're showing me like a great company. They had like showing their office staff. The people buy people, not
people buy personalities.
Everyone tries to
companies.
post the before and after pictures of the roof, right? And you said it. Nobody cares about.
Nobody cares about that. But I don't think. Also, I think most owners want to play the backfield. They don't really want to be seen. Mm-hmm. They don't want all of the liability, even though they already got all the liability. But it's like, man, if you put your face out there and you start building that brand, your company is that much more powerful. Like, if I was to ever go start a roofing company, it would be that much easier to build it because I already got a strong brand. People would be eager to come work with me, not for me, but work with me because of my brand.
How do you balance giving away free game without devaluing what you do?
Well,
or maybe you don't look at it that way.
I don't because I look at it from a sense of like, the free game is free because that's just what's on my heart, right? Now, the rich game comes from when you at dinner, when you're in a one-on-one setting, when you having like very deep, rich conversations. That's where the rich game come out. But free game is just like epiphanies. That's how I view free game. They're like epiphanies. Like, oh, this came to my mind. Let me give you some free game. But when you pay, you get explicit knowledge, right? So the free game, cool, right? It's like the camera guys and the podcast guys, they get online, they give you the free game, but when you pay, you get the explicit stuff. So I don't think you ever devalue yourself with free game. If anything, I think free game make you more valuable because information changes situations, and when you give somebody information that can change their situation, you're actually more valuable. Now they're gonna come spend more money. Now they're gonna come get that explicit information.
What's your secret for never running out of content?
Learning, reading a bunch of books, like constantly going to events, going to conferences, getting new information as much as I can. I'm always trying to outlearn people. I tell people, by the time you learn the shit I've told you to learn, I've already learned 5 new things.
Is buying followers killing like a business in the long run?
Yeah, I think so. My personal opinion. I've never paid for a follower. All of my followers are authentic. That's why we only at 9,000 followers in 8 years. So we gain about 1,000 followers per year. But it's education. When you educating people, bro, you don't grow fast on social media. It takes a lot of work. So unless you're paying for it, and I've never paid for nothing, no marketing, no nothing, everything all organic. But yeah, I think once you buy followers, you dilute the algorithm. Now you got a bunch of people under all your posts saying the same shit. Now the shit just don't look authentic. Now somebody done came to your page, they see you got 40,000 followers, but they look at your views and your shares, and they're like, okay. Now they look at your comments, and there's 100 people saying, that was awesome information. That was awesome. Everybody's saying the same shit. So I think people be like, oh, man, this dude fake.
Yeah, I bought a lot of my followers in the beginning, and now I'm being told by people like it was a bad idea. And so we're going to scrape everything and bring it back down because I guess the way the algorithm works is like if your people aren't engaging with what you do, then it doesn't put it out to more people, right? So you could have all this big number up there to look cool, but then if people aren't actually engaging with that content and sharing it and liking it and actually working with like you have all organic people, so it's going to be sent out to more people. So that's a big mistake that I made originally, just trying to look like I had it, fake it till you make it. But we're in the process of scraping all that. And
yeah, I was okay with having, I always tell people it don't matter about my social media life. Like we make money in real life. We make impact in real life. Like we helping people grow and get better in real life. The followers don't matter. I remember I was at an event. The lady said, you want 1,000 followers? She said, you want 100,000 followers? You want $100,000? I'm like, I want $100,000. She was like, exactly. So why you worry about 100,000 followers? Totally. You don't get 100,000 followers. You don't get $100,000 by having 100,000 followers. Don't get me wrong. Like some situations, yeah, but in our situation, it don't matter, man. Once you get your tribe, game over. Because once you get your tribe, you can sell them anything.
Yeah.
Whether it's homeowners, clients, don't matter.
So, what makes you magnetic on camera, or what makes someone magnetic on camera?
Not caring about who on the other side of the camera.
So you don't speak to like a persona or something. You're speaking about roofing a lot of the time, or not always, right? It could be personal stuff. Okay.
Yeah, but I think what makes you magnetic on camera is not caring about who on the other side of the camera. Like just getting in front of that camera and having a ball.
Not worried about what anyone thinks.
Yeah, just being present, right? Like we doing this podcast, right? And it's like I get into such a flow, I forget the camera's on. Last thing I'm thinking about is who on the other side of the camera. So now you can be more magnetic, more charismatic because you're not thinking about, man, what they gonna think about me, right? Like I don't really care.
What principle do you think changed your income forever?
Disruption will always follow your intentions. Which means every time you make a decision to go do some great shit in life, a bunch of fucked up shit about to happen. And once I understood that that's how life goes.
What do you mean?
So like, anytime you make a decision to go out there and do something great in life, somebody gonna die, somebody gonna get sick, you're gonna go through a breakup, you're gonna get an injury.
When you're trying to do something good,
period,
life's gonna bring problems.
Period.
Really?
Yeah. That's how God created this thing. So once I learned that disruption follows your intentions.
I never heard that before.
Yeah. So once I've learned that disruption follows your intentions, when I go out there and like make new commitments and shit happens, I'm like, oh, I'm on the right path. Because this is supposed to happen in order for me to get to where I need to be. But when you don't understand that principle, that disruption always follows your intentions, when bad shit happens, you're like, why me? Man, I feel every time I go to do something, man, things go wrong. That's exactly what you need in order to get to the level that you're going to. But if you don't understand that principle, you'll always find a way to complain or like whatever.
So basically you have to understand that you might be going for something great and you're going to know that things aren't going to stay perfect in life. Like you got to
Yeah.
expect that to happen and be ready to keep going.
You need a disruption.
So what does being undeniable mean to you?
What does being undeniable mean to me? That means I will persist until I succeed, right? You can deny me, but I'm going to be undeniable, which means you could tell me no today, you could tell me no tomorrow, you could tell me no in 10 days. Cool beans. I'm going to come back. I'm going to keep asking. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep knocking. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep producing content. I'm going to keep doing whatever it takes to get to where I want to be, because you got one or two options. You either going to fold or you just going to keep denying me, but I'm going to keep coming back. So in my mind, undeniable is like a principle from the greatest salesman in the world, which is I will persist until I succeed. I won't persist until I'm tired. I won't persist until my feet hurt. I won't persist until my back hurt. I'm going to persist until I succeed.
What's the cost of hustling without a code?
Oh, everything. My personal opinion, everything. Like no code, no principles, no nothing that governs your behaviors. You'll compromise your values. You'll do anything for some money. You'll do anything for like an opportunity, because you don't got no code, you don't got no principles you live by, right? So like I refused to pay to play. That's just not something I do. I don't pay to play. Like I will pay to learn, but I'm not gonna pay to be on your stage. So I'm not going to compromise my values to be in rooms or do certain things. So I think you need codes, because if you don't got no codes, no principles, no nothing that governs your behaviors, you'll do anything. And you got to know how to say no to shit, because all money ain't good money. All conferences ain't good conferences. All people ain't good people. Like I've turned down certain engagements because it don't align with who we are and where we're going.
Final question for you, Dashaun. Why do most people never tap into their full potential?
They lack curiosity. I think most people don't tap into their full potential because they lack curiosity. I don't think most people are curious enough to dive into the unknown of what it means to be like an optimal human, right? I think most people just accept what other people say or just believe what other people done told them, versus them sitting down and saying, what does it mean to do this? What does it mean to do that? You got to be curious in order to maximize your potential. You don't maximize your potential by just doing shit. You maximize your potential by being curious about things. As you get curious about things, you'll go down a certain avenue. Once you go down a certain avenue, you'll get passionate. Once you get passionate, you find purpose. Once you find purpose, it continues to allow you to blossom into versions of you that you didn't know was possible. But if you lack curiosity, you live in a nation that unfortunately keeps you in the same spot, aka stagnation, right? So you got to get curious, I feel like, to really maximize your potential.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dashaun, for coming on today, and I really appreciate you sitting here and doing this podcast with us. And
yeah,
you're the first of many to come.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been an honor.
I'd love to have you back on again in the future.
I would love to come back. It's been a privilege, man. And as always, baby, hustle hard, hustle smart, and don't be afraid to bogart.